Welcome to this episode of PR Tech Talk. Today we are going to look into the new device from RENESAS, the RA2L1, which is the entry level from RENESAS RA family. In the last episode we installed a flexible software package and got the LED to blinky. In this episode we are going to continue doing some work on the development board by installing some of the provided application software for this device in particular. To do this we go into RENESAS website again. We go under product and we select the RA microcontroller. Under the RA microcontroller we scroll down and we find out the device that we are looking into, the RA2L1. We go down a bit further in the documentation and downloads folder, and there we look for the EKRA2L1 example project bundle. It's not a big download, it's only like 4 megabytes, so we download that one. The file is downloaded. So now the download has succeeded and I have unzipped the file to this directory. It's not necessarily to unzip it, but I did it anyhow. So here we see that there is an PDF, Acrobat PDF file that we can view. Here is the example project bundle application note documentation. Under this folder which I unzipped, there is this folder EKRA2L1. In this folder, when we open it, we see a lot of projects. The one we are going to look into today, we're going to install everyone, but the one we're going to look into today is the Quick Start. In the Quick Start, there is a small README text explaining what this application would like to demonstrate. And under the E-Square Studio you have the full project with all the files. We back out of this and we will import it into the E-Square Studio. Here we have the E-Square Studio on the status where we left it in the prior video with the Blinky project. It's closed. So we are now going to install or import all of these files that we showed, that we just downloaded. So we go to File, Import, and we go to the General tab, and there is existing projects into Workspace. Hit Next. We can now either select root directory, that is if you have unpacked the files already, or we can even select a zipped file. So if we go for zipped file, we can go for Browse, and there is the downloaded zipped file. So we can open that one. Then you can select, if you don't want to install every of these projects, you can select, deselect what you want and what you don't want. We want to have everyone in it. Here you see also the default copy projects into Workspace. That means that since this file is not in the Workspace, it will be copying all the files and not links. So we hit Finish. Right, so now E-Square Studio are done and has populated the Project Explorer with a lot of projects we can dive into. The icon there on the blinky one, that is the icon for a closed project. All the other projects are opened, and it's not very nice to have, so we will look into that one we are going to work on today. It's the Quick Start project. So we right click on that one and we select Close Unrelated Projects. Okay, so now every project is closed except this one that we are looking into. So we open this project and we see a file structure, and we have the configuration XML file, which we double click on to open the FSP configuration on the project. Okay, so now it's done. We see now that we are in the perspective FSP configuration. Here we have the Project Explorer, we have our FSP configuration menu with the tabs down here. We have up here in the right corner we have an MCU graphical display on the device itself. If we double click on this tab, we will make that one bigger, and we can zoom it in and we can pan it around. And if we want to restore it, we just double click on the tab again. And we can pan it also in here. So if we take, for instance, these tabs, we have the clocks and we have the pins. The pins, for instance, if we look into this port pin 403, so it's the port 4 and the pin number 3. So we have it here, port 4 and pin number 3. There is no indication on that pin is used. So if we want to use it, we can hide show it there, and we can also just point as a digital input-output pin. So it's an input mode, and we can select it if it's wanted to be an input or an output, if it's an output, if it's initial high or initial low. And we can also give it a name here. Then we have the interrupts in the project that is already assigned and to what event, and the interrupt service routine. And what stack is used in this one. So this is not an RTOS based system, because there is only one task. If there is an RTOS, then there are several tasks or threads here. But in this you only have a HAL common one. So if you highlight one of these, there is an icon coming up here, and the configuration for that device is down in the left bottom. So we don't need to do anything because the project is already set up. So we just wanted to generate the code for it. So here we see that it's making some new folders for the debug, etc. So the thing is done, the project is created, so we can build the project. Hopefully without any errors. Okay, build finished, 0 errors, 0 warnings. It took us 24 seconds to do this. If we now make a change in the source file and make a recompile, it will be faster since it's just doing an incremental compilation. Here I have connected the EK RA2L1 development board to my computer. So now we want to put it down into the device itself. So we launch the debugger. It programs the device, asks us if it wants us to switch the perspective to the debug perspective. So now we have the debug perspective up here in the right corner. We launch the debugger and we hit run. There is a small blue LED running, blinking. And we can change the frequency of that one. That's faster, even faster, and slow again. We can also change the intensity, and I think that will be very hard to identify on the camera. Might be visible, but now it's low, medium, high, low again, and now it's a bit faster. We can also look into the Segger RTT Viewer with some debug output. So we launch the RTT Viewer, existing project, since we are already debugging, and we are greeted with a small menu here. It says select the options from the menu below. Hit one for kit information, 2 for next step. So if we hit 1, it says there is what kit it is, what MCU it is, the unique ID for the MCU. There is a temperature indication on the device, on the MCU itself, and how fast the frequency of the LED is blinking, and also the intensity. So if I put now my finger on the MCU, now it's 25 degrees. I think the most recent one is below. So if I put my finger on the MCU, it's now going up to 27, 28 degrees. And if I also change the frequency, so now it's 10 Hertz, and we can change the intensity to 50% or to 90% duty cycle. So this was the demo of this board and installing the projects. We can now then close the RTT Viewer. We can suspend or even terminate the debug session. Get back to our C++ view. We can then close the project. And we are done for today. So, hope you learned something. We installed and downloaded the demo software package for the RA2L1 and got a quick start project programmed into the device, and have some blinky LEDs, and also looked in some terminal from the RTT Viewer. Hope you found it interesting, and hope to see you soon again in coming videos. Cheers, bye.